place recently. I wanted to kind of highlight some of the challenges that we've had and make sure that we are as transparent as possible with this process. I know that as a community, it's a small community, and not having a representative here every day to quell and answer questions arise and then they foster and people are like, well, what is that real project? So we want to be very clear that the website that was just launched for White Pine is to be a place to answer questions, and that the work that we're pursuing right now with this geotech work is one of the steps of development to get us to a project that may be built. So the disturbance on the BLM property is 0.75 of an acre. It is to do the geotech. That's the next critical phase for us, and we are meeting with the BLM later today. We've done a public process, we've done the cultural work, so that those steps are moving forward, but it also ties to our investment. And I think that the fiber conversation that was earlier is like that for us would be really valuable to have the fiber, and if they're looking for a match, we would be a contributor to match for that. I think that it benefits the pump storage. But that goes to the economic investment that we have done at R Plus Energies in this project, and with all the consultants that Matthew mentioned, you know, PTAB, Basin, HDR, Mott McDonald, GEI, Crux, we've committed to spend about $13 million in this early stage development on this project right now. And the goal is that it can be a project that's successful for the community. So we are listening to concerns that the community has, moving the lower reservoir down. One of the questions, Commissioner Carson, that you've asked multiple times is, what's the economic benefit of a project like that, like this for the community? And we try to respond as best we can with the information that we're given, or we have, and we can generate. We did commission an economic draft report, and I have 5 copies here, which I'll give to you as well, from Zions Bank Public Finance for the project. This is the full, I'll just give it to you. I'm giving you the full draft report. We would respect that maybe this doesn't get shared with the full public yet because it's just a draft of the document. But the punchlines of the economic impact is that a project of this scale, when built, which will take 5 or 6 years to start construction. Well, first, we don't anticipate starting construction before 2025 at the earliest, if we are able to do the geotech work that we need to do this year. The total project cost is about $2.5 billion, $2.3 billion, based on the assessed value and the Governor's Office of Energy abatements or incentives that are available that would go for 20 years on a project. The first 20 years, the project would pay about $262 million in taxes to the state, of which 144 million would stay in the community here. So that represents about $13 million a year of new taxes that the project would generate for the first 20 years, but this is a 100-year asset. So after the first 20 years, the abatement falls away, and then it would be paying, you know, the depreciated rate, whatever the tax rate is to all the taxing entities. And that report gives you a breakdown, but wanted to let you know that it is a significant investment. It's a significant return on that investment, and once the project is built, it will. The numbers of long-term ongoing employees we have that we've assessed by other comparable projects is about 25 full-time employees here with a salary range of about $80,000 to $120,000. So much higher than the median for the county, because they're going to be skilled tech, tech people in the community, but living here, and then it will create significant additional tax revenue. So that was kind of the highlight on the economic side and giving you the update. We are doing a public town hall meeting tomorrow, and to be as transparent again and answer as many questions that the community may have. I know it's been published in a few different places with the Rotary and the Chamber, and thank you, Chairman, for helping with that. There will be lunch provided as well, so we're having pulled pork sandwiches and some other things for the community, and handing out some nifty White Pine water bottles too, so people can take some hydro back with them. Question?
I do. On your economic, I'm assuming then to a certain extent that this is still, is this a finished copy or is it still a draft? This has been finished?
It's a draft, and the reason why it's a draft is because we're only
I
at the
just wanna
first
double check.
phase of engineering. And so the numbers for construction, the period for construction, the costs are all estimates. They're not final because we
Right.
won't have that for 3 years.
With that said, I wanted to, and we haven't had a chance to really have this conversation, and I apologize that I won't be able to be there tomorrow, which I would have hoped to have been able to hear the dialogue that goes on. But as you can see in our county now, right now, with the NDOT stuff that's being done, the road work, their employees, and also with the development of the new Justice Center, these individuals have housed their employees within our motels and hotels and all that. So I was curious if you've thought about standing in line or putting your bids in early so far as saving rooms as you get closer to go ahead and rather than everybody just cringes when they hear the word man camp. It doesn't sit well with a lot of the people here, especially our businesses, so.
Yeah, we have thought about that. Workforce is obviously a big concern for a project like this. And if you have a smaller workforce, you have a longer duration of construction, which is one way to potentially manage that. I think our thought is definitely to use as much local, the motels and hotels that are available, and to maybe improve some of the RV camps, and that it's not a man camp, but you could create an improved RV camp that would stay here after the project left and could be utilized by the community for campers that are going through. I think that's probably the easiest way to address some of those concerns as far as how to house people like that. We have in the past come before, and I think what we would like to do is work on putting together a special use permit for the project that would identify some of these things early and the costs associated with them, and with a development service agreement with the county as well. And the development service agreement would, and we've been very transparent with this, would outline some of the obligations of the project to the community for making sure that, roads, that we don't leave roads worse than we started off, and that we take care of road improvements and pavements, that we take care of housing, that we take care of whatever it is, that the project funds itself and improves the community, that it doesn't detract in any way. So we would be open to solutions, looking to how, whatever the county and the city needs to support that, we would be supportive of it as well.
Thank you.
And pulling from the mine, maybe some of the workforce from there would be, that's. Any other questions?
Anyone?
Thank you, Commissioner.
Look forward to your presentation tomorrow. Hopefully, many people with questions will show up, and you can answer those, because I think it's important to the communities to be informed instead of rumors and all this other stuff that goes on. I have to watch my language sometimes. But we need to get people informed in the right way, face to face. So thank you very much for doing that. I think your outreach to the community and paying for a luncheon or a barbecue or whatever you're having is really a positive first step. Because a lot of people are saying, where is the pump storage? You've come to us many times, you're here today, and tomorrow it's open to everybody. Please come, and we've advertised it as well as we can. So thank you all very, very much. And unless another commissioner has something, we're going to move on to our 10:45. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to give to Travis? You got anything you want to say to these guys from the pump storage thing? You're the liaison.
Just want to thank them for coming and presenting, and I checked out their website on my computer, and there'll definitely be a spot I'll send people with questions. It keeps it pretty simple. It, gives the macro details, and we'll answer a lot of questions for people. So happy that they did that as a resource. So thank you, gentlemen.
Absolutely, that was a great idea, thank you.
Okay. page 3, item A, it's a 1045.
This has been a Georgetown production. George Chachis reporting.